Hello, hello, hello. I am Nikole, and welcome back to the channel. Hello, hello, hello. I am Nikole, and welcome back to the channel. Getting back into our Run It Back series, where we are looking back at the top singles, albums, and moments of 2023. If you missed the first episode, we definitely got into Offset's album. If you missed the first episode, you definitely want to go take a look. We got into Offset's album, Set It Off, him and Cardi's marriage drama, Renee Rapp's debut project, and a few other topics. But for this episode, we are jumping right back in at number 8. Personally, one of my favorite albums of the year was A Brief Nirvana by Kamari. Both albums didn't chart. No, it didn't receive a ton of accolades, but those who love R&B music know exactly who Kamari is. Now, if you love some of the R&B music we were given in the early 2010s, you would definitely love Kamari. Being introduced to him this year was definitely a breath of fresh air. If you wanted a project that was going to make you feel and really make you look deep into yourself, Kamari's A Brief Nirvana does just that. He presented a very relatable and vulnerable project in the most authentic and natural way. And I feel like the tone of the project definitely cut through all of the toxic R&B and poppy R&B that we were starting to really settle for. I highly suggest if you did not get into A Brief Nirvana this year, you definitely go check out the album. And of course, slide over to phase 1 where we did get a chance to cover him and get to know a little bit more about his backstory. So definitely go check out that episode. Now in the singles category, we have Closer to God by Teyana Taylor. Yeah, I'm going to say by Teyana Taylor. Closer to God was one of those standout songs from the Love album that Diddy dropped earlier this year. To me, the song definitely shined a huge light on the vocalist that is Teyana Taylor. Even in her space of retirement, I feel like her light, her talent, and her craft has definitely shown through even more, ironically. This is why I will not accept the fact that she keeps saying that she's retired and never going to make music again. I feel like her overall frustration with her career as an artist came from the lack of label support, the dynamics of the ever-changing music industry, and honestly, the lack of control around her final artistic presentation. This year, she leaned more into the Auntie's production by helping a lot of newcomers amp up their stage presence, creative direction, giving music videos a more so cinematic point of view again. I think once she finds her footing, finish exploring the space that she's in, and establishes the Auntie's company a little more, I feel like she'll be back in that space to want to create again. It's no secret that a lot of artists' careers have struggled due to having to navigate a lot of industry politics and gatekeeping, which leads me to my next topic of Diddy. The juxtaposition of this man's year is wild. Earlier this year, we were celebrating his accomplishments and his contribution to hip-hop and R&B music. And I think a lot of us, I know me for sure, were confused at his heavier push on this Brother Love rebrand. Now, we got into all of that on his Game Plan episode where we did get a chance to review the Love album. And I believe I outlined my thoughts and views of his heavy rebrand of feeling like he needed to turn on a new leaf. All of us knowing that he needed to rebrand and take on a new image is noteworthy, but I don't think any of us would have been able to put our finger on the alleged abuse in Cassie's 35-page civil suit. I don't want to comb through all of the details and rehash it because it can feel a little heavy. So you guys can go and find those details elsewhere. I'm pretty sure you couldn't have missed it in the news cycle over the last month or so. But I could not skate past that. I could not skate past this. Being me, I could not skate past this in reviewing and going back over 2023. Because his rebrand was cut real short. It is really disheartening to have to come to terms with such aspirational and inspirational figures having such dark alleged truths. I've always admired Diddy for what he's done well when it comes to his ear and eye for talent and his keen marketing skills. But without a doubt, I've always acknowledged where he's done wrong, and this is no different. Diddy definitely isn't the only one. So I've been saying for a long time that I felt like the industry was about to have some major shifts just because I felt it. A lot of these standards and norms when it comes to what was done in the 90s and even farther back than that in the music industry has needed to change and has kind of gradually been making its way there. But a bomb like that being dropped kind of causes everyone to kind of question the interpersonal relationships and business dealings when it comes to the music industry. So, as I said, a lot needs to change and it's not going to be easy. So, this reckoning for Diddy is really just the beginning. Now, y'all know I was definitely hyped about the girl group FLO last year, so they are coming in at number 7 with their single Fly Girl featuring Missy Elliott. I think Fly Girl helped prove that FLO was definitely not a fluke and that the girl group thing was here to stay. The song does give cute TikTok song, but it is still definitely quality music. I do believe something else I called last year was Missy Elliott collaborating with them. I love that in a year where Missy is finally getting all of the accolades and praise that she deserves, she's still reaching out to younger artists like Flo to give them features and obviously give them advice, helping them navigate this industry. The girls wasted no time coming back quickly with music, coming up off the hype of their single Cardboard Box and all of the media attention that they garnered. Earlier this year, they definitely took time to establish a strong connection with their fan base by doing pop-up events and ramped up on the social media engagement. They were even able to tour both the US and UK with sold-out tour dates. Now, I did think that the album was coming this year, but I'm kind of glad that it didn't. It seems that they are taking their time to really solidify themselves, to connect with the right producers, to probably solidify their team, and make sure that they're ready for an undeniable debut. Now, an album I was definitely surprised to see was Burna Boy's I Told Them. Now, just last year, he dropped his project Love Damani, but he wasted no time on getting new music to his fans. Now, this project had absolutely no skips for me. And I love what Burna Boy is doing with kind of continuing to close that gap between the U.S. and the African diaspora. Y'all know I get really particular when it comes to sampling. Sometimes I feel like it's overdone. Sometimes I feel like it's not done tastefully. But I feel like Burna Boy gets it right. Obviously, we saw what he did last year with Last Last and Tony Braxton's He Wasn't Man Enough for Me. Came right back around. I'm thinking of the success of that, having more songs like that on the I Told Them project. Obviously, leading with Top of the World, which samples Brandy's Sitting on Top of the World. He is taking these classics that we love from people that we definitely have an affinity for and modernizing their songs as well as giving it the Afrobeat vibe, making it more so international. Burna Boy is definitely in a class of his own, and he's a major part of why Afrobeat has been able to take center stage across the world. He also made history this year by selling out the London O2 Arena and Madison Square Garden in New York. Now, when it comes to touring, it seemed to be a central focus across the board in the industry this year. I mean, there were artists that I honestly did not expect for them to have their own tour standing alone. And then we saw some people who definitely should not have been trying to tour on their own have to make some decisions. I was really glad to see a lot of the newer artists be able to go on their own sold out tours and pack out their venues when it comes to the genres like pop, alternative, and R&B. But what's really telling was the lack of success for some of these hip hop shows. Some of the bigger name hip hop artists that we would typically think that we hear on the radio, that are on the playlist, that get a lot of publicity. The teams went and shot for venues that you would assume people of their stature and their notoriety would be able to pack. People definitely had to cancel some legs, cancel some shows, and I feel like that was definitely telling of what's happening in the hip hop space right now. A lot of artists either have to do festivals or do a collaborative tour in order to pack out larger venues. In some way, I feel like it's just based off of the consumers kind of desiring a higher level of production and really being elective on who they choose to give their dollars to. In a year where you have Usher with this Instagrammable, moment giving Vegas residency, Beyonce's Renaissance tour, which we'll get into, that has its own section, but this Renaissance tour really being a movement more so than just a general show that people are going to. Even Drake's tour, with this heightened production level for it to be what people would think a lower level hip hop show. I think the bar has raised for what consumers want, and the standards are definitely higher. If you're not meeting those standards, you're not really getting them dollars. All right, y'all, that is a wrap on this episode. Drop down in the comments below. I definitely want to hear what some of you guys' favorite singles, albums, and moments of the year were. And obviously, what you guys thought about this episode. What did you guys feel when you heard about the Diddy news? And what are you guys looking for from tours now? Be sure to tap into the next episode and see what else we have coming up in the Run It Back series. I'll catch y'all in that next episode. Bye.